Good morning and welcome. My name is Christopher Chase and I serve on your Fellowship Board of Directors. I want to thank you all for being here today and extend a special welcome to any visitors. If you would like more information about the Fellowship, please visit the welcome table in the fireside room or sign our virtual guest book at uufames.org/guestbook. Whether joining us from home or here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to stay after the service for coffee fellowship, where you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with kindred spirits. At 11:15 this morning, the newcomers circle will be in the library downstairs. Fellowship Voices rehearsal will be in Channing Barton on the top floor. The transition team will also meet in room 3. Wow, what a busy day at 11:15. And as often generally is the case, the Buddhism study group will be meeting in the fireside room at 4:30. And the mindfulness and meditation community will also meet in the fireside room at 6 o'clock. So, on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand life and resurrection in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
Our opening words this morning are from Langston Hughes, and it is a responsive reading. It's an earth song, and I've been waiting long for an earth song.
It's spring song. I've been waiting long for a spring song.
Strong as the bursting of young buds, strong as the shoots of a new plant, strong as the coming of the first child from its mother's womb.
An earth song.
A body song,
A spring song.
and I've been waiting long for an earth song. And our chalice lighting is also a responsive reading. As the kindling of this chalice calls us to community,
Let there be light.
as the flame of this chalice reminds us of our values,
Let there be light.
and as the glow of this chalice encourages us to hope,
Let there be light.
let there be light. Will you rise now in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 61, Lo, the Earth Awakes Again.
Bring relief and
Hello, everyone. My name is Riley, and I'm the RE helper, and I'll be reading our book for today, which is The Easter Bunny's Assistant by Jan Thomas.
Easter Bunny's assistant is the Easter skunk.
Yeah, you know this book. Hello, I am the Easter Bunny, and this is my assistant, Skunk. Today, we will show you how to make beautiful Easter eggs. Step 1, hard boil the eggs. I'm so excited. Skunk, what is that smell? Oh, sorry, it happens when I get excited. Please try to control yourself. It's very serious. Step 2, make a dye for the eggs. Oh, look at that beautiful color. It's so exciting. Skunk, sorry. Step 3, decorate the eggs with crayons. Oh, I love decorating eggs. It's so pleasant and exciting. Step 4, remove the skunk from the room. Push if necessary. Hey! Step 5, dye the eggs. Now you have beautiful Easter eggs. Should I let him help me hide the eggs?
No.
Oh. Well, Clara says no. Are you sure? We're gonna let him help. So here are the Easter Bunny's directions for making beautiful eggs, if you all want to make some, which is on the next page. Maybe we didn't put that up here. If you want directions, we have them. And that is the end of the story. And if you'd all join us in singing the children off to their classes, thank you.
Will you join me now in a time of prayer and meditation? And today we have a special meditation from our partner church in Transylvania. This is from Lajos Lorenzi, the minister there. Dear friends, we hope you're all well, and this message finds all members of UUFA in good health. I'm writing to let you know that we are well here in Tordatvalva. We try to give our best to the spirit of life, each other's, and to the world, which became very dark and confusing because of the war next to our country, and because of all the spiritual, social, and economic consequences. We do not know where this situation goes, but we are praying for the war's ending and for peace and understanding. In this situation, we try to live our simple life. At church, we still have our great project, a children's camping and warm meal service. Finally, last year, after the pandemic years, we could work at 100% capacity. We had around 2,000 children and young adults in our places, camping, different groups of them between 30 and 80 in a group, spending 1 or 2 weeks here. We bring around 100 portions of warm meals every day from 15 villages, having a staff of 7 people. We are preparing to commemorate the 200th anniversary of our church buildings. They were built in 1823. There'll be a celebration in July and September. I know it's close, but we would really like a group of visitors from Ames for this occasion. And Fritz Keinert has said he is interested if anyone else wants to get on the train. They are working on renovation of the buildings, and we have to strengthen the walls and fix the roof on the church. We are very grateful for your support. We received $1,650 from this congregation last week. Thank you very much. Your donations and your help from the heart are always welcome. We will use it for good goals. We are preparing for Easter, which is a great holiday here. May the spirit of love help us to renew all that makes us and the world a better place. We wish you, our friends and partners, a peaceful, wonderful, and joyful Easter season. And we hope we can work together to make our friendship as vivid as possible. All the best. Love, Lajos.
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning, a sharing community where our joys are amplified, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. It is a tradition in our community to take this moment to share our joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. There's a time for sharing, not a time for announcements. If you're in Fellowship Hall and would like to share something, please come forward to the mic over near the piano and state your name and share your joy or sorrow or milestone. And once we're done here, we'll move on to our remote congregation. I will light this last candle in appreciation and solidarity for all those thoughts and prayers we have in our hearts, and that we may all help each other as we move forward. And now a moment of silence. And now a reading from the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 16, verses 1 through 8. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They had been saying to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Look, there is the place they laid for him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you." So they went out and fled from the tomb, for terror and amazement had seized them. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. And we will now give and receive our offering. Know that this morning, half of the non-pledge offering will be donated to Story County Conservation. Their mission is to connect people with nature and improve natural resources in Story County. They acquire and manage property for this purpose and develop conservation and recreation programs throughout the county. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship that make this a community of transformation. We'll pass baskets here in Fellowship Hall. For those of you at home, you can visit uufames.org/give to make your contribution today. And if you're visiting today, please know that your presence here is gift enough.
And one quick announcement, the program just says David Slade, but Karen Bates is playing flute, various flutes here, and so this is an instrumental.
Good morning, Central Iowa and beyond. My name is Reverend A.J. Galazin. I'm your interim minister. My pronouns are he and his. We're so glad you have joined us here today. Wherever you are on your spiritual or ethical or questioning journey, you are welcome here. Are you new to this fellowship or looking to meet new people? I will be hosting a newcomers circle following the service today at 11:15 in the library right outside this fellowship hall. Please join us if you are visiting, have questions about Unitarian Universalism, or want to deepen your involvement in this community. And I also want to talk about our drop-in Soul Matters groups. We've been going on for several months now. On the second Wednesday of the month, we have 2 opportunities to join in discussion on our theme for the month. And our theme this month is resistance. So this Wednesday morning at 11 a.m., we have our online Soul Matters group. And at 6:30 p.m., we have our in-person group. So, and it is a drop-in group. There's no homework required at all. So years ago, I was a chaplain at a nursing home founded by Norwegian Lutheran immigrants. The chaplains traded off leading worship each Sunday, and I loved it, except when it came to Easter Sunday. Oh! None of the chaplains wanted to preach on Easter. What could you possibly say that hasn't been said already 100 times? Well, you guessed it, I drew the short straw. And as the token Unitarian Universalist, it was my turn to come face to face with the empty tomb. Now, to be fair, the service was considered to be a non-denominational gathering. Not all of the residents were Lutheran, but the general tenor was definitely within the realm of traditional Christianity. Some of my UU friends and colleagues were attending the service, so I wanted to speak to them as well. Sometimes I think that Unitarian Universalists act like Christianity is a relic of the past, because we instinctively resist the anachronistic conformity that is assumed by repeating the same old story. But I'm glad I attended an ecumenical seminary surrounded by wonderful, beautiful Christians. Mostly liberal Christians, yes, but still they were living, breathing Christians. And I'm thankful for my professors who taught me that these ancient stories, both the Hebrew Bible and the Greek Testament of the Jesus movement, belong to all of us. That's right, all of us. The Bible and all readily available sacred scriptures are part of our culture, part of our multicultural religious inheritance, open to evolving interpretation. And my professors went beyond that. They taught me that these familiar stories only come alive when we find ourselves in the action, when we are the characters living in the Holy Land. Because without us, the stories are dead. Without us, God is dead. So on that Easter Sunday, somehow I crafted a sermon that spoke in 2 languages. It was well received by both the traditionalists and the skeptics. Preacher, know thy congregation. Because preaching is not merely a performance. We need to bring some skin to the game. If we want to talk about Easter, we may have to let some things go. I love bitter, moody, bittersweet melodies. And the Australian band known as The Church had a song many years ago titled Under the Milky Way. Sometimes when this place gets kind of empty, sound of their breath fades with the light. I think about the loveless fascination under the Milky Way tonight. Wish I knew what you were looking for, might have known what you would find. And it's something quite peculiar, something shimmering and white. Leads you here despite your destination, under the Milky Way tonight. Yes, this is an achingly sad love song written by two people, the bass player in the band, Steve Kilby, and his girlfriend, Karen Jansen. But in my contemporary, personal, vivid interpretation of Holy Scripture, it reminds me of the Easter story. Sometimes this place gets kind of empty, the empty tomb of loss. Sounds of their breath fades with the light. Impermanence and death. Wish I knew what you were looking for. The women finding the stone rolled away at the break of dawn. It's something quite peculiar, being surprised when least expected. Leads you here despite your destination. Somehow we are where we need to be, under the Milky Way tonight, the great darkness of our unknown universe. Now, I have to admit my biblical bias. The gospel reading that I chose for today's service is not popular. The book of Mark is the oldest and shortest gospel. The other gospels probably enlarged and embellished upon the foundation story in Mark. Mark contains the least amount of miraculous language and the most humane depiction of the person Jesus. And the earliest known copies of Mark end abruptly with verse 8, and they were afraid. Can you say that with me? And they were afraid. There is no comforting, miraculous appearance, just the reality of fear. I admit my bias. I want more of the human story and less of the otherworldly afterthoughts. I admit my bias. I am resisting the resurrection. Now, some of you rational, well-intentioned Unitarian Universalists may question any relevance for celebrating Easter, since it is difficult to verify its claims or find some contemporary meaning in our lives. Where are we in the story of Jesus on his final journey to Jerusalem? As a Buddhist, in lieu of resurrection, I admire and strive to follow the path of the Bodhisattva. I resist the idea that universal harmony is achieved only after death. I believe in doing what I can in the here and now, the words I speak are also important. Honesty paves the way for my good intentions. I resist the idea of quick salvation. And to me, Jesus is an example of a bodhisattva. The following quotes are from the Encyclopedia of Buddhism. A bodhisattva is someone who has developed the aspiration to attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. Enlightenment is a state of mind, one who has awakened to their ultimate potential. It's the most positive state of mind possible, a state of perfect, irreversible happiness and perfect, irreversible freedom. It is the ultimate state of a peaceful heart from which love flows continually and without impediment. And a bodhisattva's motivation is not just to achieve this state for oneself in order to dwell on an island of individual bliss, but to use the powerful qualities of enlightenment for the maximum benefit of all beings, which include the 6 paramitas, translated as perfections. Number 1, to cultivate an attitude of giving. Number 2, skillful conduct, refraining from harm. Number 3, forbearance, the ability not to be perturbed by anything. Number 4, joyous effort, to find joy in whatever is virtuous, positive, or wholesome. Number 5, meditative stability, not to be distracted. And number 6, a penetrating wisdom, the insightful consideration of phenomena, close quote. And the bodhisattva ideal is my personal image of resurrection. Okay, so can we learn anything new from Easter? Well, an interesting example just fell out of the sky this week in a Manhattan courtroom. It was a cry for justice, no matter who you are. Maybe you've heard about a disgraced, twice impeached politician charged with felonies that any one of us would have to answer for. Vice News reports that many Christians are now explicitly drawing comparisons between the former president and Jesus Christ, as they see the looming indictments hanging over him as the same kind of persecution that Christ suffered at the hands of the Romans. Thomas Lecaque, an associate professor of history at Grandview University, tells Vice News that Trump has picked up on his supporters' view of him as a Christ-like figure and has incorporated language appealing to that belief into his speeches. I take issue with the comparison between the former president and Jesus Christ. In fact, to me, the evidence appears to lean in a different direction. Jesus did not condemn strangers, deport refugees, or bear false witness against his neighbors. Jesus did not steal and solicit money from the poor to enrich the privileged and the powerful. Jesus did not stoke hatred. Jesus said, "Love one another. Just as I have loved you, you should also love one another." Jesus did not pay hush money to hide the truth of his philandering. If you find the word philandering too highbrow, we can substitute the word cheating. Jesus did not cheat. And Jesus did not fly into Jerusalem on a private, gas-guzzling, egocentric luxury jet. Jesus rode into town on a donkey. Old school. Your assignment this week, should you choose to accept it, ask yourself, where are you in the Easter story? Are you resisting any part of the story? Are you resisting anything in yourself? Have you been born again? Are you rising up or falling down? And how do you work toward your goals of ethical conduct? I close with lines from the church. I wish I knew what you were looking for. I might have known what you would find. May it be so, and amen. Will you rise now in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1068, Rising Green. Our closing words are from my mentor, Reverend Lisa Friedman, and this is a participatory closing words. Participate as much as you want. We touch the floor. And your feet are already on the floor if you didn't realize that. To remember that whatever we bring, our best self is holy ground. We reach for the sky to remember that we are part of a mystery much bigger than ourselves. We hold hands to remember that we need one another and are part of one human family. And we join voices To remember that we each have a gift to offer the world and to use in making the world a better place. Go now in peace.